So the big question is this: how do women over 30 struggling to lose weight and or looking to tone and lose unwanted body fat in those stubborn areas like the midsection, love handles, thighs, and upper arms, how do they build their dream bodies and keep their results long-term without surgery and without feeling like the only way to make it happen is to eat cardboard and broccoli the rest of their life? That is what this podcast is all about, and each episode is full of proven strategies that you can apply right away to create your dream body, allowing you to look younger, feel younger, and skyrocket your confidence. Welcome to the Transformation Secrets for Women podcast. So the question is, why do some doctors say no to red light laser lipo for targeted fat loss results? And today, we're going to answer that exact question. Also, at any time, please feel free to go ahead, click down below, or head over to midsectionmelt.com to claim your complimentary midsection treatment and also your clinical consultation with us, where if we don't deliver you measurable results on the spot, we actually pay you $50 for your time. Hey, it's Trev Bucheri, America's favorite weight loss and midsection fat loss expert, helping our patients lose well over 500,000 pounds and counting. And now I'm sharing the same transformation secrets with you that I've already helped over 25,000 patients with. And in this podcast, I'm going to explain exactly why red light laser lipo technology is the perfect solution for targeted fat loss results. So let's get into it here. Now, first thing I want to say is I absolutely love doctors. I have the utmost of respect for them. If it were not for medical practitioners and medical professionals, I would not be here today. When I was about 8 years old, I had some massive kidney problems, and if it weren't for physicians and modern technology, I would not be here today. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. All this being said, I do want to say that doctors are not nutritionists, nor are they weight loss experts, and that's okay. That's okay. They're not supposed to be. They have their own profession. They have their own concentration. All right. But all this said, they are unfamiliar with laser. They're also unfamiliar with LED red light lipo technology. Or if they were familiar with it, they would also realize that there are literally zero contraindications, zero side effects to actually be concerned with. Because red light laser lipotherapy, it's a non-invasive procedure. It uses low-level red or near-infrared light to actually stimulate the skin and the underlying tissue, which in this case, the underlying tissue is adipose tissue or fat tissue. And the only thing to really be aware of are that some individuals, they may experience a little bit of slight redness or irritation at the treatment area, which usually resolves itself, on its own. And that really tends to be, say, the day of the treatment, okay? And then it tends to go away, later in the day after the treatment. And secondly is just eye sensitivity. Even though LED lights are really used by therapists every single day and they're really considered to be safe, the best practice is, of course, protecting your eyes during the procedure, really just to avoid any potential damage, which is best practice protocol here, of course. And interestingly, I will say this. I have many practitioner friends and colleagues of mine who also offer this type or very similar services with red light or laser light. And I asked them, I said, well, why would someone say no? Why would a physician or a practitioner say no? And their words made it very, very clear. They said, if they don't know it and they don't know what it is, they will say no, because otherwise it could be a liability for them. And that totally clicked for me. And I can 100% understand that, because in the world of medicine, there are lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. And the last thing that they need is for, again, if they're unfamiliar with it, a patient to come in and say, oh, yes, it's totally safe. And they say, okay, yes, do it. And then something happens and they go back and they actually pull a lawsuit against the doctor saying, hey, the doctor said I could, right? So I completely understand that. If they don't know it, if they're unfamiliar with it, they're going to say no. Otherwise, it potentially could be a liability for them in their mind, all right? Makes complete sense. But the fact is that there's literally thousands of studies out there showing that it's an absolutely safe form of therapy for targeted fat loss treatments, and also really one of the most effective forms there are out there. So let's talk about this, because there are so many different places you can go. So what makes what we do different? What makes our approach different? And yes, what we're going to be hearing about is always going to be about, our technology is the best. Our technology is the latest technology. And of course, I would hope that any practice who's delivering a similar service to ours has the latest technologies. And I will say this, yes, we have the strongest lasers available on the market, which is 635 nanometers, which is the actual wavelength that's proven best for targeted fat loss. And yes, our lasers have the highest optical power, which is the brightness of the actual lights themselves, which is 33 milliwatts per bulb compared to the most popular brands that we actually used to use, all right, which actually were only rated at about 5 milliwatts. And what this means is that's the amount of energy, the amount of light energy that actually reaches the fat cells and actually penetrates the fat cells. So of course, the higher amount means that we're actually able to more easily temporarily rupture the fat cells and have the contents spill out into the body and have the actual fat cells decrease. All right, so that's what that is. But all this being said, it kind of doesn't matter, because there's a couple pieces here that we're going to talk about that really separate us from the pack and make us the absolute go-to choice. And number one, I'm going to talk about this. It's our proprietary application and treatment method. And we call it the CCP method, because here's the best way I can think about it is it's all about how we actually utilize a tool, which makes the tool unique and which actually maximizes the potential of any tool. All right. So let's just say this as an analogy here. We'll talk about, let's say we have the best makeup in the world. We'll utilize this. We have the best makeup in the world, and it's either myself who's going to apply it, or we have the most world-renowned beautician who's going to apply it. Number one, who would you want to do it, and who do you think is going to do a better job? My money's on the world's most renowned beautician, absolutely. But again, we both have the world's best makeup, but again, it's the application and treatment method of how that makeup is applied, which actually brings its magic to the surface. And let's just use a second one. Let's say we have a Ferrari race car. Let's just say you have a Ferrari race car in your driveway. I have one in mine, and we actually place a Ferrari race car in a professional driver's driveway. Who do we feel is going to actually maximize the potential of that race car? Again, I would say the professional driver is absolutely going to do so. Nothing against you or I, but they are trained to actually maximize the potential of it because of the way that they actually apply their skill to the actual tool itself. It's all about the application and treatment method of a tool, which accentuates it. All right, and that's called our CCP method. That's our method, our specific application and treatment method of how we apply our red light laser technology to maximize the results for our patients. So CCP stands for connection, compression, and pressure. So the method is really based upon applying a full connection to the skin without any gapping. So we want those red lights against the skin. There's no gap, no light actually escaping. That way we're getting maximal penetration through the skin into the fat cells, okay? Then comes proper compression. So what we use is we actually apply to the treatment area, we use our 7X laser wraps. This is our proprietary way to actually make sure we get the proper compression, because we don't want too much compression, we don't want too little compression. And when we do so, what it's going to make sure is we're actually getting depth of penetration. All right. And that actually comes to our next one, which is accelerated pressure, to the actual targeted spot reduction areas. And what this does is this actually maximizes the fat cell engagement. So again, we were talking about there's layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of fat cells. All right, we want to make sure we're not just hitting the surface fat cells. We want the actual light to emit deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the adipose tissue, into the fat cell tissue, so we can actually engage as many fat cells as we can, as many layers of depth as we can, opening all of them up so we can actually maximize each treatment. And ultimately, what this is going to do, this whole method of the CCP method, is going to increase the effectiveness of every single one of our treatments, okay? Now, I'll say this, with our patients, I'd say the majority of our patients are coming in here and they're looking for a couple things. They're looking really for a combination of, number one, weight loss along with targeted fat loss results. And I would definitely say that the most popular areas that we treat over and over and over again are the midsection, the thighs, and also the upper arms. Fourthly would be the actual jawline, so the under chin to get more of a defined jawline, okay? And this leads me to the second thing which really separates us, which is our Transform One philosophy. And this is a two-part philosophy, two-part system that I should say is lose it, tone it. All right, so part one is lose it, part two is tone it. And for lose it, we have a combination of two things that make that up. All right, because again, like I said, many of our patients, they say, hey, I want to lose weight. For that section, we actually have our medically guided weight loss, which is going to help overall with losing body weight. All right, and the second component of lose it is for our patients who also say, okay, I want to lose weight, but I also really want to work on these areas that no matter what I do, they just won't go away. All right, I really want to work on my midsection. I really want to work on my thighs. I really want to work on my upper arms because, hey, I've lost 20 pounds before, but it always seems that I lose that 20 pounds and then I keep putting in this effort and my midsection just won't go away. What do I do? So for that is where we use the red light laser technology for the targeted fat loss results. All right, so together that actually takes care of our phase 1, lose it. All right, now our second part of that is going to be tone it, because many of our patients also come in and they say, great, I want to lose that 20 pounds. I also want to really lose that actual weight and flatten my midsection. I want to lose inches. I want to lose my love handles in my midsection, but I also want to lose inches on my thighs here. And then after I do that, I would really love to tone. I would really love to tone my midsection. I would really love to tone my thighs here. And that's where our part 2, tone it, comes into play. And we use what's called high fem tone and sculpt technology for that. So that's another thing that separates us, is our 2-part Transform One philosophy here. The third thing is our program is backed by proven results. We've actually worked with well over 25,000, approaching 30,000 patients, and also actually approaching 600,000 pounds lost. So we are proven. All we have to do is give our patients the actual tools. All they have to do is implement these tools, and failure is really not an option. And fourthly is our My Data system. All right, because at the end of the day, every single one of our patients is an individual. You're an individual. I'm an individual. Therefore, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution for weight loss and targeted fat loss results. It's just not. All right, so anything else short of actually utilizing a patient's individual data is speculation. It's guessing. So My Data is actually a data-driven, customized body transformation approach so that we eliminate guessing. And we're the only personalized, data-driven weight loss and targeted fat loss program around, backed by proven results. And there it is. So now you know exactly why some doctors say no to red light laser lipotherapy for targeted fat loss. So thanks so much for joining me. Go ahead and click right down below. Head over to midsectionmelt.com to claim your complimentary midsection treatment and also your clinical consultation with us, where if we don't deliver you measurable results on the spot, we'll actually pay you $50 for your time. All right. Also, I'd so appreciate it if you please go ahead, click right down below, follow or subscribe. Again, my name is Trev Bucheri. Thank you so much for investing your time with me, and give your best to the rest of your day. Take care. Thank you so much for listening today. And if you found value here, please go ahead and follow or subscribe. And also, please take a moment to share it with anyone you feel would benefit. Now, also, don't forget, as your free gift just for listening, you're able to claim your complimentary midsection treatment and clinical consultation with a value of over $250, where if we don't deliver you measurable results on the spot, we actually pay you $50 for your time. Simply go to midsectionmelt.com. That's midsectionmelt.com. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.